Time to go on down to Texas to spend some time with a man who has a true worldview that I wish I had. I'm trying. He understands what happens, and he understands how to lighten up. He understands how to put things away when they need to be put away. How are you, James?
Well, I'm tolerable.
That's a matter of opinion.
Yeah, ask my wife.
He said, I called him the other day, and I heard he said, "Hello." He said, "Just a minute." He said, "Manuel, get the damn goats out of get them off the lawn."
Oh, I'm just having an ongoing fight with my daughter who lives down the road in my previous abode, the log cabin, and she's got these goats, and she's too lazy to keep them in a pen because then she has to spend money and go get feed, so she just lets them out and roam around, except they always head straight to my house and eat all my shrubs. and it drives me nuts because I've got some acreage and they go anywhere they want to, but no, they got to come eat my shrubs.
Wait a minute now. How far down the road does she live?
It's about 100 yards.
Okay, I thought it was a couple miles.
No.
Well, the goats can see and smell. It's the grass, right? The front lawn?
No, I call it my homestead, see, but since my daughter lives down there and we're up here and we got some animals, when they come after me, they're going to call it a compound.
I got it. Well,
I call it a ranchito. My wife, when she was a little girl in Dallas, Texas, they had a big tornado, and she and her mom were out driving, and she swears up and down the tornado chased them. Of course, I think her mom just drove in the wrong direction. But regardless, she's kind of got this, this anxiety over tornadoes, and so it really is. Since we're here at the tail end of Tornado Alley, it is pretty comforting to know that if things get bad,
you got a place
we
to
can go run down in this basement.
Yeah, they'll dig you out. You'll be all right in there.
Yeah, no, with the side slider windows, surely it wouldn't cover all of them. Surely one of them would be left.
Will you please don't call
open
me?
the window and crawl out.
You always call me Shirley. I don't know why you
Shirley,
do.
yeah, Shirley, and your sister Goodness. And let's not forget Mercy.
Mercy.
Shirley,
Chastity?
Goodness, and Mercy.
Remember Chastity? That was another name.
I don't think I ever met her.
No, you wouldn't. Little Jimmy Mars in 3rd grade.
That's right.
He went through the women like a scythe through a wheat field.
Well,
and their power lawnmower.
You know that period when little boys go through when they don't like little girls, don't want to have anything to do with them.
You never grew over that one.
I never got over it. I never went into it. I totally skipped that one. I always liked the girls.
Well, nowadays, if you 2nd grade, 1st grade, if you say something inappropriate to a little girl, they'll arrest you. They'll send the SWAT team.
But
they'll take you
who
away.
in the heck decides what's appropriate and what's not appropriate?
Up to the teacher.
I mean, even the little girls and even older girls, they don't know what's appropriate.
Well,
and what's
most
not.
older girls now are more aggressive than the men.
Exactly. But I guess I come by this hell raising though naturally because I've got a picture on the wall of my hallway that was taken in 1918 in Marshall, Texas.
Wait a minute, you're not that old.
No. But it was a photograph of a woman's suffragette parade when they were out marching to get
parasols,
the vote.
big dresses. Yeah.
And my grandmother was one of them. That's why we have the picture there. And
Trouble?
She was pushing for women's votes and women's rights in 1918.
Trouble is the middle name.
Yeah, fight the man.
That's funny. That's an interesting story.
She was quite a lady. She lived to be 102. And she could even recall, very, very, very young, when her father, who was a doctor, came back from the war between the states.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
And everybody was celebrating.
If Pickett's charge had worked.
Well, it would have, except for that damn Custer.
Yeah.
He messed the deal up, and he went against orders twice, Okay. Of course, he finally got his comeuppance at Bighorn. But
well, if Pickett's charge had worked, we wouldn't have this Federal Reserve crap, probably. Oh, who knows? I don't know.
Yep.
It would have been a lot more fun. I still hope somebody secedes here, but they don't have the guts.
No, we don't have the fortitude today to stand up, even when we know it's right.
No, they don't. Not a chance. It ain't going to happen.
Did you ever read that letter from John Wilkes Booth?
Yeah.
Where he said he really wanted to hold the Union together. He really loved the Union.
I remember something about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you told us that fabulous story about Booth last time.
Oh, yeah.
He lived to be he had a full life.
Into the 20th century.
Just like Adolf Hitler lived in Argentina.
Yeah, that's now coming out, too, but everybody just tries to ignore that story.
Well, that's fine.
Because for so long they told everybody he died in the bunker.
I sent you the book.
Yes, Harry Cooper's book.
Yeah,
yes.
It's all true.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question. None. Zero.
Ava Brown still... What this proves is...
Ava might still be alive, by the way.
Most of what we think we know is wrong.
Most of what we think we know is wrong. Damn right. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the absolute truth.
That's how the game is played. We were told the moon was just a dead world. Wasn't anything there, folks.
Right. Well, they didn't see
no atmosphere, no water, no magnetic field, no nothing. And now we know, there's water.
They didn't see the buildings.
Blow across it. They've seen lights moving on it.
They didn't see the buildings.
It does have a magnetic field, very faint.
Or the mining, the
Yeah.
magnetic field.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on up on the moon, and good Lord, what's going on Mars?
Oh, exactly.
Go to MarsAnomalies.com. Joseph Skipper. Hats off to Joseph. There's water, there's trees, there's wind, there's everything up there.
Yeah. Well, that's where the rich folks want to go and hang out when things get too bad here.
I know.
After they get through wrecking this world.
Well, remember the Navy has a fleet out there. Gary McKinnon found that, and they could take them to Mars, no problem.
Well, you got to understand. See, first they realized all the way back into the 40s that there was going to be some real problems here because of ozone holes, and they knew that this was going to create that term that we're now not supposed to use anymore, global warming.
Well, I'd say go one step further. I think, honestly, scientists, many of them who quit, when they realized that they were going to go into nuclear energy, they knew damn good and well that ultimately would be our demise.
That's right. And then when they saw the first atomic bomb, they knew that was getting towards the end. So they came up with the three alternatives. And the first one was, this was really stupid, but this was back in the 40s. They didn't even know about radiation early on. That's why they'd take troops and put them up within a few hundred yards of the atomic blast and say,
those old films of that?
Don't look at it.
Don't look. And now you can look. It's okay now.
And so the idea was they were going to stack and set off an atomic bomb and then stack them one, high until they blew a hole in the upper atmosphere with the idea of releasing all of these gases, all of these greenhouse gases, And then they finally figured out that not only was that not going to work, but they were very liable to just covering the entire world with radiation and just going to kill everything. So they went on to Alternative 2, and Alternative 2 was, let's build underground bunker cities, okay? That with their own air conditioning and food supply and everything else, and then when nuclear war comes or these great geophysical changes, well, the select few will go down and we'll live in these underground things that we can live there for 20, 30, 50 years, and then we can come back and repopulate the earth, So that was going to be the second alternative. And they were doing that through the 50s and 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s. And in fact, they've still got those, what they call dumb, deep underground military bunkers.
Dumb. Deep
and
underground military bases.
Bases, yeah. They still got those scattered around. But they finally kind of realized that, especially after like Mount St. Helens and a few of these things, the Pacific Rim is getting more and more active. And they realized that when these tectonic plates begin to shift and bump into each other, that those underground bunkers may not be the way to go. In fact, they may be just sealing themselves into their own underground tomb. And so now we're into alternative 3, which is the space fleet and facilities on the moon, Mars, Venus, no telling where else. But of course, they can't tell us taxpayers about that, even though we're paying for it, because everybody can't go up there. So they're saving that for continuity of government. And if you think I'm just making all this up, then please tell me where all of those trillions of dollars have gone that are unaccounted for. If you remember Donald Rumsfeld,
they're officially unaccounted for, but they're accounted for.
The day before the attacks of 9/11,
that's right.
Donald Rumsfeld admitted the Pentagon could not account for $2.3 trillion, which was like 4 times more than that year's whole entire defense budget.
Yep. Went to the Bank of Tel Aviv.
Money's going somewhere, and I guarantee you it's not going for dancing girls.
No, I went to Tel Aviv. He knew. Everybody. He's a rabbi. Come on, it's dual citizens. Anyway, you're right. That's
another thing. Now, if you want to mention, this is really beginning to bug me, and I'm sure you're aware of this. I don't know if you've ever brought this up though. Right now, everybody's upset about this over-militarization of police forces, as we saw in effect in Ferguson, Missouri. Okay,
yeah.
And the real thing that got me was when people are looting and they're breaking into stores and they're smashing windows and they're stealing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right, get the cops out there and arrest them. But they weren't going after the looters; they were going after the demonstrators who were standing there with their hands up saying, we protest all this police. And here come the police, and are they boys in blue? No. They got armored vehicles and Kevlar helmets and Kevlar and vests and machine guns.
And they are thoroughly, mentally, them against us.
Exactly. And where'd they get that? They got it because intensifying after 9/11, all of these police chiefs and some of these leading SWAT team leaders, they all went to Israel for
still
training.
Going.
And they're still going.
Free first class, everything. They go over there and they get and they get videotaped in their sleep, and they run people. They get drugged and they own them. It's all sickening.
Now think about that, folks. Now here you have little Israel sitting in the middle of these Arab nations, and they've been fighting tooth and toenail since 1947. And yes, they've got a real problem, and yes, they have to be pretty tough on who's doing what over there. But is that who we really want to train our police like, so that they'll treat us like
Palestinians?
They treat the Palestinians?
They're treating us like Palestinians. It trickles right down through the core. The police department, no question, 0. You nailed it. I do talk about that a lot.
Good.
It's all sickening. All right.
Well, it's all true.
All true, too. Sickeningly true. How's the Mercedes?
Well, she's a little puny right now. She needs a carburetor at me.
Well, wait a minute. Now, this is 1934?
36 model.
Okay. Was this the one that...
I've had... Well, the engine's rebuilt, and actually it's running pretty good, but it keeps... it'll start, and it'll idle, but as soon as you try to give it gas, it chokes up and dies.
No.
And I'm pretty sure it's the carburetor's all clogged up.
Is this the one that Goering and Goebbels rubbed?
I think so. I think so.
If you ever want that car seriously restored to pristine mint condition,
that's my dream, but I can't afford it.
Well, I've got the guy to do it for you if you want. We'll just truck it out here and get it done. We'll talk more about that in a minute. We got to take a break. We'll come right back and name this tune.
Oh no!
Coming up next.